Imagine an army advancing relentlessly, shields locked so tightly together that not even arrows could find their mark. A formation so impenetrable it became legendary on battlefields. This was just one of the many insane tactics that made the Roman military a force to be reckoned with. But there's even more to their strategies than meets the eye. Let's dive into 7 mind-blowing Roman military tactics that didn't just work, they changed history. The Roman Empire is often celebrated for its grand architecture, sprawling territories, and cultural impact. But its military prowess is what truly set it apart. The Roman legions dominated battlefields for centuries, and much of that success came from their unique, often unorthodox tactics. Today, we'll uncover 7 insane Roman military strategies that not only defied expectations, but became game changers on the battlefield. First up is the iconic Testudo, or tortoise formation. This tactic was all about protection. Roman soldiers would form a tight rectangular block and interlock their shields. The soldiers at the front and sides held their shields vertically, while those in the middle lifted theirs overhead, creating a protective shell. This maneuver was invaluable for advancing under a hail of enemy projectiles. While it made the soldiers move slowly, it ensured that archers and spearmen had little hope of breaking through. The testudo wasn't just a shield wall, it was a psychological weapon, demonstrating Roman discipline and impenetrable teamwork. Next, we have the cohort system. Unlike the traditional phalanx formations of Greek armies, Roman cohorts were smaller, highly flexible units of around 480 soldiers. By breaking down the army into cohorts, Roman commanders could respond to rapidly changing battlefield conditions with remarkable agility. Cohorts could maneuver independently, flank opponents, reinforce weak spots, or execute coordinated strikes. This flexible unit system allowed Rome to dominate battles that might otherwise have devolved into chaos. Not all Roman tactics were battlefield maneuvers. The practice of decimation was one of the most ruthless methods of enforcing discipline within the legions. If a unit showed cowardice or disobedience, 1 in every 10 soldiers was selected by lot and executed by their comrades. It was a brutal measure, but it underscored the seriousness of discipline and ensured loyalty and cohesion. Roman commanders believed that fear of punishment could forge an unbreakable bond between soldiers, because failure wasn't just a personal risk, it was a matter of life or death. Sometimes, Roman victory came through the appearance of defeat. The tactic of strategic retreats was a cunning ploy used to deceive and outmaneuver enemies. Roman forces would feign a retreat, luring overconfident adversaries into vulnerable positions. Once the enemy was stretched thin or out of formation, the Romans would counterattack with devastating force. This strategy highlighted the legion's discipline, as soldiers had to maintain perfect order and coordination even while appearing to flee. No discussion of Roman military tactics would be complete without mentioning their engineering genius. The Romans revolutionized siege warfare with engines like the ballista, onager, and siege towers. These machines hurled massive stones, spears, and even incendiary devices at enemy fortifications. The Romans could batter down walls, create breaches, and terrorize defenders long before their troops engaged in close combat. Their mastery of siegecraft allowed them to conquer heavily fortified cities that other armies couldn't touch. The flanking maneuver was a classic yet brutally effective Roman tactic. By pinning their enemies with a frontal assault, Roman commanders would use hidden or reserve units to strike from the sides. This maneuver caused chaos and disarray among enemy ranks. One famous example is the Battle of Cannae, where Roman forces faced Hannibal. Though Rome suffered a loss, they later perfected the flanking tactic, ensuring that it became a standard strategy in their playbook, leading to many victorious campaigns. Finally, logistics was the backbone of the Roman military machine. Armies march on their stomachs, and the Romans mastered supply chains, roads, and storage facilities to keep their forces well-fed and equipped. A Roman army could operate deep in enemy territory for extended periods, thanks to their meticulous planning. This wasn't just practical, it gave them a strategic edge over foes who underestimated their staying power. When other armies faltered from hunger or exhaustion, the legions pressed on. The Roman legions were more than just warriors. They were innovators and strategists who transformed the art of war. From shield walls and flexible cohorts to brutal discipline, deceptive retreats, and engineering marvels, these insane tactics cemented their dominance. The lessons of Rome echo through military history, reminding us of how creativity and discipline can turn the tide of battle. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this deep dive into Roman warfare, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more fascinating history.